Morning. Welcome. Welcome back. How's everyone doing? How was your day yesterday? Good? Hopefully. Choppy, as expected. Pretty much the entire day was what we talked about yesterday, just that CPI chop. But today, hopefully, a little bit better. Morning. Howdy, howdy. We got to get 1,000 likes on the stream before 8:30. I don't think that's possible, but we could try. Awesome day, Mike. Nice, man. Nice. Yeah, hopefully, Tashumbi. Hopefully. What'd you trade, Chef? Yeah, I saw that Zim dividend. I saw someone post about that yesterday. Feels a little bit too good to be true, but you always got to be careful of that. I don't know. I mean, the stock just goes nothing but down. So, yeah, you're getting a good dividend, but you might be losing on the underlying. But I don't know. Maybe it comes back. Who knows? Who knows? Oh, you got nice, Chef. Congrats, man. Quentin. Yeah, it's hard to come by sometimes, man. You know? That's normal. Sankofa, it's just an option. It's a futures rollover. Why there's a difference? Time is really the main difference. I couldn't give you like the really in-depth reason why, but pretty much time. All right, let's get started. Welcome, guys. If the likes don't pick up, don't stream for a week. That's not a bad idea. All right, so welcome, guys. Welcome back to another day. Today, pretty big day. CPI in the pre-market, about 27 minutes until then. We're definitely going to see some pretty decent action on the market, I would assume. We'll pull up the CPI expectations. We'll pull up all that, get a good idea of what the market is anticipating, get an idea of some levels to watch. Of course, as you guys know, events like this, we can't really guess what's going to happen. All we can do is just watch and react. That's our job as a trader. Watch, react, read the price action, see what's going on, see what the market's doing, and take advantage of what's going on, right? We can't try to predict. It's just not something that you're going to be able to do long term. Maybe you get it once, you get it right once or twice, but I can guarantee you, if you want to be a profitable day trader on the long run for a long time, something you can learn, a skill that you could use for the rest of your life, trying to trade CPI moves is probably not your best bet. Of course, you can make a shitload of money, like I've seen plenty of people do, which could, be more than some people make in months, if not years, but it comes with a lot of risk. So I try to stay away from it. Of course, there's a lot of emotion. There's a lot of hype around it. But let's try to keep that on the DL. Let's really focus on the levels to watch and make some educated trades today. So we'll see the reaction at 8:30 today. But before that, we'll go through some futures levels. We'll go through some expectations. And we'll go through some individual stocks as well to try to prepare for it. Okay? So if you guys could, before we get started, we got about 850 people here. If you could start pressing that like button for me, this is going to be a good stream, hopefully. How tall am I? I'm short. Live trades. I'm not a tall guy. I'm an Italian with a very short Italian family. I am 5'7", so I'm a short king. But there ain't nothing wrong with being a short king. I embrace it. That's big key in life, right? Got to embrace, what you have. Can't care about it. Gabagool. All right, so today, futures as always, economic earnings calendar. We're gonna skip the earnings calendar because there ain't nothing there, but we'll pull up the economic calendar. We're gonna look at the XLF, the KRE. We're gonna sort of keep an eye on these today again. What does the banking sector do today? Right? What does the banking sector do today? I think is very important for the market. Does it come back today? Does it move lower? I think this is very instrumental for the market. It's been definitely driving the market to some extent, so we need to continue to watch banks. Tesla, 170 to 180. Nice little channel there to watch out for. NVIDIA, 230. Microsoft outperformance yesterday. I want to keep an eye on this one today. Apple, huge 200 SMA bounce yesterday. Held the 200 SMA really nicely, something I'm going to keep an eye out for. Meta, 180 demand, and then Netflix near that 300. So that's what we're going to look at. Obviously, as you guys know, on these days where there's CPI, we're going to look at some stuff before 8:30, but we're going to have to do a pretty quick review of things after 8:30 because things are going to move, our levels are going to change, and we're going to have to sort of do a little refresher after 8:30. So what I talk about before 8:30 today is sort of a preparation, an idea, but obviously a lot of it can be invalidated after the CPI move comes out. So just keep that in mind as we look at stuff this morning. All right, so let's pull up the economic calendar. That's first. We don't really need to look at it, but I'll pull it up just for the hell of it. You can see 8:30 CPI, core CPI, CPI over year, and core CPI year over year. So we have month over month, and we have year over year CPI today. Tomorrow, retail sales and PPI, and then the rest of the week's pretty much as normal. Jobless claims, some housing stuff going on, and then pretty slow Friday there. So today and tomorrow are the big two. All right. Let's pull up really quickly. Let's pull up the expectations. So here is your CPI year over year expectations today. The expectation is for CPI to come in at 6%. That is 0.4% lower than the previous. That is the current expectation. So today we are looking to see, does it come in at 6%, higher or lower? All right, that's going to be the big thing to look out for. So 6% higher or lower year over year. That's the forecast. Previous 6.4. You can see we have been on that trend of lower CPIs year over year. This is going to be big, right? And another thing to remember, right? Another thing to remember is we're starting to get into, actually, I'm sorry, where is it? Right here. All right, we've been starting to get into increased numbers from the previous year. This is a big thing to remember when you're doing a year-over-year analysis, right? If you're doing a year-over-year analysis on already higher than expected CPI numbers, right? This is March right here. This is March of 2022. And you can see CPI was already at 8%. So the year-over-year number is going to be obviously influenced by what was it last year, and it was high last year at this time. So you'd assume that it would come down versus that. So 7.9, that was last year's. Really what's important is the month over month, right? Month over month shows short-term trends. That's, I think, more important to see how the month over month is acting versus the year over year. But you can see today's forecast is 6%. Here is the month over month. And the month over month today, the forecast is 0.4. So they are expecting a forecast of 0.4. Last was 0.5. So you can see these forecasts have come up. So they have been a little bit more lenient. I think the forecasts are showing that they are seeing, this month over month increase a little bit. Because before, month over month changes were smaller, right? 0.2, 0.3, 0%, 0.5, and now we're at a 0.4 forecast today. So for what it's worth, there's your expectations. It doesn't really matter what the expectations are. All it matters is to see what the move is at 8:30. So it is what it is. 0.4 month over month and 6% year over year. That's the CPI. This is not the core. I can pull up the core if you guys really care about it. We can pull that core up real quick. So let me add these to the tabs here. All right, so here's core. Core is expected to be 5.5. That's X food and energy. And then core month over month is expected to be 0.4. Month over month X food and energy. All right. We'll keep those up and we will get started with the futures analysis. So here we go. Today, let's go to the hourly chart and let's analyze sort of what happened yesterday. So we have these levels on the NASDAQ here. We'll start with the NASDAQ. We'll get into the ES SPY after that. The NASDAQ, as I've talked about recently, is a little bit of an outperforming index as of right now. Obviously, there's not much bank exposure in the NASDAQ, if any. So the NASDAQ has been holding up a little bit better. The banks have been the main reason for downside, and that's why the S&P 500 has slipped a little bit more than the NASDAQ. Now, if we look at yesterday and we look at the pre-market move, you guys know we got a pretty aggressive downside on the pre-market yesterday. That pre-market move moved right into this triple bottom. And we talked about this yesterday in the pre-market live stream. We said, please do not short into this demand because it just doesn't make sense, right? You don't short into demand. This market has showed us that levels have been crazy respected, right? And no matter how confident you might be on a move, these demand and supply levels are rock solid. They have been for almost the entire year. And again, yesterday, you can see a really ugly downside move pre-market and just a really strong hold of demand once again. So strong hold of demand down here around 11.8. Support there, support there, support there. Strong triple bottom on the NASDAQ at 11.8, right? So we get a little upside move. We get a bunch of chop. We get a chop fest here between 12,000 and around 12,200 and the 20 SMA, really. If I zoom in here, I'm going to go to the 30-minute chart, and we can look at the really short term and look at sort of what happened yesterday. So you guys can see basically all day yesterday, we just traded between a supply and a demand zone, right? We traded between this supply up here around 12,140 to 12,200, and we traded between the demand around 12,000 to 11,950. Down here at 12,000, 11,950, we have the 200 and the 50 SMA stacked up, and then above we have the 20 SMA stacked up around this 12,200, right? And we pretty much just traded in this channel all day. So today, you look at this channel once again. You watch this upside supply, 12,150 to 12,200. You watch this downside demand, 12,000 to 11,950. You keep an eye on this immediate short-term channel here. If we get an upside move, I would not trust the upside until you get a hold above 12.3, right? I would not trust an upside move until you get a really strong hold above 12.3. If you try to long this market below 12.3, you are exposing yourself to this rejection again. The same rejection that happened here and the same big rejection that sort of happened here, but the same demand that stepped up here, right? So I would not want to be long into 12.3. If you start to see this market push, if you long it at 12,290, hoping for a breakout, you're exposing yourself to this supply rejection. I would want to see a legit move over that 12.3 and a hold above it before even considering a long entry on the NASDAQ today. So that would be the big watch for me to the upside. If we get a bigger move to the upside, I would watch this 12.3 supply up here. If we can get a nice hold above it, that would sort of be the watch. Okay, so 12.3. You can even put a line like around this 12.350, 12.360 area. You can watch this whole zone here. Really, it's not just 12.3. It's really this whole zone up here. If you guys look at this chart, right, you can see rejection here, rejections all here. So you probably even want to see a strong support come in above this 12,360, 12,350 area, right? Above this previous high to get a really confident upside move. Before that, maybe there's some scalps here and there, but these supplies are pretty legit, right? You can see these supplies have stepped up previously. Supply rejection here, a bunch of rejections here. Watch these two upside moves. To the downside, right? If we get a downside move, be careful shorting into the 250 SMA. Right, this is very clear. This is a big level here, around 12,000, 11,950. If we break the 200 SMA, watch out for this 11,800, 11,850 area, right? This is that triple bottom. I think to get a legit downside move, you're going to need to break under this triple bottom, maybe a little bounce off the 100, and then see if this starts to turn into a rejection down here, right? And then maybe you can get your push to the downside on the channel. But it's been a pretty tight channel here, right? Really, the major channel, if you are to ignore, right, these two levels here, let's say we ignore this supply and this demand, really the major channel is 12.3 to 12.4 and probably around this 11.350, 11.850, 11.9 area, right? That's really your major upside and downside channel as of right now. These are sort of intermediary levels in between. So, Rusty, appreciate you joining, man. Welcome. So there you go, guys. I mean, that's the NASDAQ as of now. Obviously, this is going to see a reaction in about 15 minutes, but I would watch this 12,140, 12,200, 20 SMA. I would watch this 250 SMA, and then really, I really would not get too anxious on the shorts until we lose this triple bottom. All right, you guys can see right here. Really no reason to be shorting into this triple bottom right here. Just, I mean, it's possible, right? I'm not saying that there's not opportunity. I'm not saying you can't make money to the downside into that level. But you just got to be cautious, right? You got to know it's there. You can't be holding and praying through it. You got to be a profit taker on a downside move if you start to get in at this supply, right? It's short-lived, right? It's short-lived. And the people that sort of hold it and just sort of hope are usually the ones that see something like this. But obviously there's still more downside. There's obviously downside opportunity if we reject. All right. ES. So this is very similar on the ES. You guys can see right here, we have that major supply up here around 39.70, and we have the double bottom low around 38.40. This is both about a 1.6% move from where we are today. All right, this is about the same move, about 1.6% up or down. This is sort of my target on a larger move on the market, right? If we push maybe about 1.5-2%, which would bring us up to this 39.70, or about 1.5% to the downside, which would bring us back to this triple bottom around 38.40. That's sort of my mindset right now. Those are my outer bands on this move. Up here to around 39.70. Or down here to that double bottom around 38.50, 38.40, right? Some levels to watch in the middle. One, it's around this 39.30, 39.40. You guys can clearly see this is a previous low here. This is a rejection on Friday, and this is a rejection yesterday. Very clear, all right? This level is going to be difficult. This 39.30 to 39.40, you can see all the rejections that have stepped up in the past in this 10-point range. So watch out for that. Now, there's so much to watch to the upside, and that's why it's so difficult to get really confident on the upside, because there's so much to watch on the upside. There's this immediate supply at 39.30 to 39.40. Then you have the 200 SMA at 39.50. Then you have the 100 SMA at 39.60. And then you have these previous lows and previous rejection point at 39.70, right? You have something to watch out for almost every 10 points on the upside on the ES. It's crazy. So you have 39.30, 39.40, 200 SMA, 100 SMA, previous rejection, and previous support. You have something every 10 points on the ES. And when you see something like that, when you're in a trade and you're in the upside, it's a little difficult to just hold on to it, because you're like, I wonder, let's watch out for these rejection potentials. So for me, to be confident on upside, I need to see this thing slice through all of this. I need to see this hold this low, and then maybe I could try for that 40-20 area, right? I need to see this low and this rejection turn back into a support, right? So watch out for that, right? Previous low, rejection here, previous low, rejection here. Want to see that turn into a support for any type of real confirmation to the upside. So watching that. Too many lines? Well, it's lines that are important. So I'm not going to make this cleaner because if you don't pay attention to these lines, you're going to not be fully educated on what to watch. So 39.30, 39.40, watch that zone. Watch the 200, watch the 100, and then watch this rejection from pre-market yesterday around 39.70, right? To the downside, right, you can see demand is very important here around 3,900. You got that 3,900 demand that has stepped up multiple times. Below that, you got that double bottom at 38.40, right? So those are the downside levels to watch on the ES, okay? SPY. Let's run into the SPY here. Really, the most important level on the SPY, in my opinion, is this big 394 zone. This is a huge rejection level. Yeah. So I'm going to delete these. This right here is you guys just talking about some random crap in the Sam, chill out, man. 388, right? That's our supply from yesterday. You guys can see right there. If we get an upside move, this is going to be your big watch. This is going to be your big watch. 200, 100 SMA. That's going to be your big watch. 393, 394. If you're not above that, things are still bearish in my opinion. Right? We can't get too bullish above or below the 200 and 100 SMA. We can't get too bullish below this because this could be just another fat rejection, just like we saw here and here on the SPY, both the Friday and yesterday on the SPY. If we get too bullish here under this level, then we have, then you're just going to be, it's just tough, right? It's tough to be too bullish there. Maybe there's a move, right? Maybe we can catch this move up to the 200, but I would want to see, for real confidence, a hold above this 200, a regain of this level before really looking for any continuation. Maybe up to that 398, maybe up to that 399, 400 level. But before we get that, I need to see the 200 and 100 SMA not be a major rejection point, which it clearly is as of right now. So that's the first thing to watch, 393, 394. And to the downside, I'd be watching this low around 385, 380. And then the major channel low is down here at 376, right? That's your major channel low down here, 376, right down here. All right. So that's what I would watch. Here's the 5-minute chart on the SPY. You can see we're sort of pushing higher right now, but there is nothing to get too excited about before we get over this 393, 394. This is a major rejection point up here on the SPY. So watch out for that. All right. What do we want to do before the CPI numbers? Let's look at some banks. Yeah, FRC is going higher this morning. First Republic, that's one of those stocks that sort of got crushed. Stock that I'm in right now is KRE. This is the ETF, the regional bank ETF. Looking for a little bit of upside off this ETF. That thing's reversing a little bit. If you guys want to play these regional banks, you probably are best just sticking to the KRE. If you want to play the downside, look for the downside on the KRE. If you want to play the upside on the KRE. I would rather play the KRE because you don't want to get stuck in these trading halts. I'm currently stuck in an SBNY trading halt. I have an SBNY 60 put, and you guys know SBNY is not trading anymore. So I'm having to go through a lot of hoops. I'm going to have to do a broker-to-broker settlement, which is I have to call my broker. I have to exercise my option contract so that I can short the 100 shares. So I'll basically be short 100 shares of SBNY at $60, which it should be profitable, right? Depending on where SBNY opens up at, which I'm assuming is probably in the single digits, if not lower, because the company's out of business pretty much. So you don't really want to get stuck in that, right? It's not an ouch. I'm going to make money on it. It's not an ouch. It's actually a total celebration. It's the opposite of an ouch because I'm short 100 shares of SBNY right now at 60. So wherever that opens, hopefully it's lower, which it's going to be lower because the stock is done. I can't say it is for sure, but I would assume it would be. So once that opens, I mean, that's going to be like a $6,000, $7,000 trade. So you just don't want to get stuck in it, right? That's what I'm trying to say. If you don't want to get stuck in that situation, getting stuck in a trading halt like I've gotten stuck in an SBNY, then you probably just want to watch the KRE because that will move with the regional banks. All right. So, what do we want to look at here? Let's take a look at the XLF. I think the XLF, I would watch 33, guys. That has been a really influential level, and 33 is going to be big, right? You guys can see this is a previous low, and you can see this is 33 where we tried to hold on around that level back on Friday of last week. Okay. Goodbye. What the hell? So 33 in the XLF, that's going to be big, right? That's going to be big. Does the XLF get back over 33? If it does, right, I think that's going to calm some concerns on the banks. If the XLF is able to get back over 33, that could be a little bit of a reversal point on the banks. So I would watch XLF today, guys. See how this reacts on CPI. We're obviously going to look at it in about 3 minutes once we get the CPI numbers. But definitely watch the KRE for the regional banks and watch the XLF for your larger banks, JP Morgan's, Goldman Sachs, etc. Right? So, yeah. Let's go ahead and start getting ready for CPI. If you guys could, we got 1,700 people here. If we could press the like button, maybe we can get to 1,000 likes before CPI is released. I'll go ahead and pop up the ES here so we can get a nice little view of the move. I'm going to get a little bit of a zoomed out move because I think this is important, right? I would really be watching this 39.70 and then this 38.40. That's sort of the upper and lower bands to this move, in my opinion, if it's a larger than expected CPI direction. So we got about a minute. We'll see the reaction here live. Let's go ahead and pull up the data. I'm sure you guys will get it before me because you guys are quick with this kind of stuff. So here we go. What can we talk about for a minute? F1 this weekend. Saudi GP. That should be fun. GS short. Yeah, the GS short was awesome again yesterday. GS has been getting crushed. All right. 40 seconds. We're almost to 1,000 likes. Hockey. The Rangers didn't play yesterday, unfortunately. I don't think. No. The Knicks beat the Lakers. Alonso, that'd be pretty sweet if Alonso got a win this year. All right. Here we go. Let's see what it does. Oh. A little down, a little back up. Not much down. It's reversing. Yeah, you market dumping. Yeah, look at it now. Who the hell knows what's going to happen? CPI 6. Okay, so it's the same as the forecast. You might not move at all. Let's see here. Chat's going crazy. So 6% came in as expected. I'm not getting it on here, which is just annoying. Let me go ahead and pull up the. Yeah, we're getting some upside now. So as expected. Okay, here we go. We got it. Here it is. Let's zoom on in. So core CPI 5.5 versus 5.5 as expected. Month over month 0.5 versus 0.4. So the core CPI increased a little bit more than expected month over month, 0.1%. CPI 6% versus 6, and then month over month CPI as expected. Everything came in as expected. Yeah, I mean, as expected could be bullish. That would be more bullish than bearish, I think, as expected. If it came in higher, then obviously bearish, but as expected, probably on the bullish side, I would assume. A little bit of a move. It's nothing crazy yet, though, right? Nothing that's, again, remember I said, if it's not over this certain level, it's really nothing to be that interested in, to be honest. Like right now, let me go ahead and pull up the SPY. So pretty much CPI numbers, if you're just checking in, everything I would say as expected. Everything hit expectations. I'll go ahead and update you guys on, I'm sure these are updated. So let's go ahead and refresh these and see if they popped them in. So you can see right here, this is year over year, 6% versus the 6% forecast. If we go to month over month and refresh, 0.4 versus 0.4 as expected, lower than previous. The core, 5.5 versus 5.5. It is lower than previous. And then if we go to the CPI, core CPI month over month, a little bit higher on the core month over month, right? A little bit higher on the core month over month. Market is pretty much unchanged. And that's sort of what you would probably expect on a CPI that is as expected. If we go to the SPY, right? I would not be that bullish until we're over this, like I said earlier, over this 200 and 100 SMA. This is the total slap in the face to everyone as of right now. I can't say that too early, but this is a total slap in the face to everyone that trades strangles and straddles on CPI, thinking that it's free money. All right, this is a total clap in the face. It's not free money. If there's a strategy out there with options, there's no such thing as free lunch, right? I've seen that so many times online. Like people think that you can just buy a strangle or a straddle and you're like, oh yeah, whatever way it goes, I'll make money. It's all good. No, it's not how it works. So as of right now, this is going to crush anyone that's done that. You have not moved here in the market at all. Yeah. It's just still the levels today, right? It's just still the levels. There's nothing here, right? Demand. Look at how the demand stepped up on the SPY. Look at that 385 demand. See how it stepped up there? Now we're just stuck under this 388. This is a total non-event. A total non-event as of right now. So we'll see how this sort of follows through intraday. I don't mind the little flat pre-market and then an intraday trend. I don't mind that because we can catch that. But as of right now, yeah, whole bunch of nothing. All right, so future straddle buy stop both sides immediately limit. Oh God, Shark, that's good. Yeah, you got the bands on the futures. It hits the buy, stops you out. Hits the sell, stops you out. Stops you both sides. Yeah, that's why, guys. It's whoops. Uh-oh. What did I do? I lost everything. There we go. I lost my entire screen right there. This is why, guys, I can't stress enough. Like, there's got to be a point in your trading, which I'm not saying you guys are not there, right? I'm just talking in general. There's got to be a point in your trading that I don't want to be derogatory, but you have to mature away from these types of events. You have to step away from trying to guess what happens on big macro events and just find a strategy that you like to do every single day that you can repeat, that you can have confidence in, that you're not nervous about. Sure, there's money to be made here. There's opportunity. There's volatility, which is always a money-making opportunity. But I think there's got to be a point in everyone's trading career where they say, all right, I'm done doing this stupid shit. Let me find a strategy that I can do on a daily basis. Let me make a little bit of money. Let me make, a few $100 a day, $1,000 a day, whatever I can pull out of the market, and let me go do something else. I've hit that point in my trading over the last 3 years, and it's never been better. It's never been better, right? I don't trade earnings. I don't get all hyped up on CPI. I don't try to chase what AMC and GameStop's doing, right? It's just such a waste. So I know a lot of people are going to have a counter argument to that. Like, oh, I made $30,000 on CPI last month. Sure. Like, congrats. But I can't advise that. So, all right. Let's continue. Let's start going through the shit that we're looking at here. I mean, really nothing has changed. So XLF is 33 still. KRE, what's the KRE doing? Pretty much just holding up at this 47. Keep an eye on this one today for the regional banks. Let's go to Tesla. Yeah, Tesla really just this 10-point range, right? 10-point range on Tesla today. Anywhere between 180 and 170. That's your 10-point range on Tesla today. So if we look at this, Tesla 30-minute, I would watch to see, do we reject 130 or 180, or do we find support at 170? And if we break either side of this 10-point range, that's where the trading gets exciting, right? Do we get a break and retest above 180 for some upside continuation? Do we get a breakdown below 170 for some downside continuation, right? Or can we play the supply and demand, right? Can we play a rejection at 180, and can we play a demand bounce at 170? We talked about this 165, 163 area yesterday on Tesla, and you can see that demand stepped up very, very strong. So be careful on the short side on Tesla into this 163, 165. Very strong demand down here and that 50 SMA. So this whole area on Tesla is sort of a no short for me. You can clearly see the levels have stepped up down in this 170 to 165, right? This whole area is pretty big. Yeah, you got the 100 SMA at 176, but I would want to see, for any upside continuation, I want to see that 180 turn into support today. That would be my major watch. So 180 to 170 on Tesla today, guys. That's what I would be watching. All right, NVIDIA. So NVIDIA, again, being a beast, right? Just not wanting to give up. And you guys can see yesterday, we moved down into that 223 demand, this previous low right here, right? Previous here. And we held that thing like crazy. Once again, you can see those bottom wicks on the hourly chart, a very strong demand hold at that 223. So it's clear, right? The market is showing you, do not short down here near this 223, 226 area. Don't get short down here. It doesn't make sense. If anything, look to long it off demand. Now, the market has also showed us, don't get long up near that 238, 240 area, right? The market has showed us that. Right now, really just a big channel, in my opinion. If I go to the 30-minute, we can get a little bit more detail here. I would watch the 230 demand, the 20 SMA, which is right down here. This is a big demand level that held here on CPI as well. You have previous support here around this 232, which we are trading above, right? Previous support. We are trading above that 232. So if we stay above this 232.50, I would look for maybe that continuation, maybe into that 238. That would be your next level to the upside. If you fail this 232.50, maybe you get another push down into demand at 230. But overall, NVIDIA, again, just a channel trade. Really not much here. but I would just watch this lower and upper band. 228, 230, 238. Watch to see how it does there. The real trade, again, is outside of this, right? That's the real trade, outside of these levels. As of right now, you just have to respect the channel. Microsoft. So Microsoft had some outperformance. Again, I'm sorry to say, but it's another channel. That's the tough spot. That's the tough thing about a lot of these charts. They're not all that great. There's a lot of channels out there. So here's Microsoft. The reason I bring it up is because I want you to be aware of the opportunity, right? Because there is going to be opportunity once these break out of these channels. So if Microsoft can get over 260, I think there's a lot of opportunity here. If we can break this double top and we can turn it into a new demand, I think there's going to be some opportunity here on Microsoft. We'll see what happens there. If Microsoft breaks down and breaks below this double bottom and the 100 SMA, this could also be equal opportunity to the downside, right? So you can see bottom here, 100 SMA, bottom here, 100 SMA. If we get the downside move under the 100 SMA, turn it into a rejection at 245, then I think there's opportunity as well. In between, you have to respect the channel. You short here, you buy here. You can see it's worked very nicely. But until then, until it breaks, or when it breaks out of this channel, I think that's when the real opportunity begins. If we go to the 4-hour chart, you can see this 4-hour chart has been in this very large channel for some time now. I am simply waiting until I see a break outside of it because I know there's going to be some opportunity, either to the upside or the downside. So watch that channel on Microsoft. I was hoping for a little bit more of a move on CPI so that we can have a direction, but it doesn't look like we're getting that. Apple, again, just not a great chart, but I wanted to point out some levels here for you. Big rejections up here around 153. You guys can see previous rejections here, previous rejection here yesterday, and you traded back into it again. So this 152, 153 area, big supply up there on Apple. Support has stepped up here around this 151, so that's sort of your middle, right? That's the middle of your channel here, 151. Watch that 151 demand and that 153 supply. If you get under 151, if you start to turn this into a rejection, similar like what you did right here and right here, right? If you start to see these rejections set in at 151 again, then you might trade back to that 147. But remember, right? Make sure you remember this. Look at this reaction off the 200 SMA on Apple yesterday. This is the 200 SMA here. You probably can't see it very well, but it's right there at that 147. Look at the reaction off the 200 SMA. So Apple has told you, do not short me at the 200 SMA. All right, that is definitely clear. So again, a channel trade, 153, 147, 151, sort of that intermediary demand right here. I would watch to see how this trades on this channel today. Meta. Yeah, Meta's an interesting one. Meta's starting to feel like what it felt like on the last little pullback. So let me zoom out here and get a little bit more time. Meta's starting to look similar to what it did on like this slow pullback. It is very similar. So this is actually a big watch for me over the next few weeks because I didn't catch this move as much as I wish I did. I was pretty locked in on Meta and like locked into this 170 demand stepping up. I didn't really take advantage of it as much as I should have. So this time around, I'm definitely watching Meta. It's doing this little slow pullback again, and it's starting to find demand at this 180 area, this previous high right here, right? Meta keeps on holding this demand around this 180. If Meta holds that 180 level and the market can find any type of upside, right, and maybe breaks this downtrend, Meta could sort of squeeze again, right? Meta could sort of squeeze again over this 184, 185 level. So I'm going to keep an eye on this Meta 185. Going to see how it pushes off this 180 demand. If it starts to pop over that 185, I'll look to see if there's any upside continuation here, maybe into that 190. But yeah, Meta, cup and handle. Yeah, actually, you know what? It probably is. It sort of is, I guess, right? It sort of is. Cup, handle, maybe. Who knows? I mean, I don't really trade with those, but that could be what that is. Larry, you can shoot me a DM I can try my best to help you, but it's, if you can't figure it out, I'm not going to have, you can shoot me a DM on Discord or on Instagram. I can try to help you out. You can send me an email. Unfortunately, I can't spend too much time with technological help because I sort of need people to understand how to use it. I can't really waste my time on that, but yeah, I'll help you as much as I can, my friend. So, yeah, cup and handle, maybe. Really just looking to see how this holds 180 and how this breaks above 185. That's really the 5-point range I'm looking at and seeing what happens here, right? So that's going to depend on the market, of course. But that's the watch. All right, Netflix. Netflix 300 is very interesting. You guys can see Netflix 300, very, very tough rejection level, both Thursday, Friday, and yesterday. Yeah, want to see if it can get over 300 today. That's really what I'm looking for. Can we get a break and hold over 300? That's going to be my watch today. Break and hold over 300. All right, break and hold over 300. If it does, I think you can get a nice push here. I think you can get a nice little squeeze, maybe up to like 308, up to this previous low. So I am going to keep an eye on that 300 level on Netflix. All right. Obviously, market dependent. But, yeah, definitely a 300 level. Um, 300 level to watch there on Netflix. Yeah, that's a good idea. If you want to learn how to use Discord, YouTube's probably not a bad spot. There's a video on when you join the Discord on how to use it, so you might want to check that out, Larry. There's a video. Once you're in the Discord, right, if you go here, you can go to start here and then watch this video here, Larry. That might help. So go to start here and then check out this video. That probably will help. Hopefully that helps. All right. Okay, so watching that. Let's check out coin because I think Bitcoin is pushing pretty aggressively here. Yeah, coin's starting to go a little bit. So coin, yeah, it's a little bit of a weird, these wicks are so tough here. Like these wicks are sort of difficult to read. Let me see what we got going on here. All right. First, I'd watch like this little these highs right here. 67. I'd watch that. What's this high? 69. Yeah, there's some highs I'd watch out over there, but yeah, coin's moving pretty nicely. Nice little pop here on CPI. I'd watch maybe this. I think the most important level here is probably the 67 level. If you can get over that 67, I think that would probably be your major watch right there, actually. Look for coin over 67. If it can hold over 67 and you get some more Bitcoin juice, maybe there's a nice move there. All right? So, yeah, I'd watch coin over 67. I think that's a good watch. Let's go to the ticker form, see what you guys got for me today, and we'll relook at the futures. If you guys could press that like button for me, get to 1,000 likes today. So what do we got today? I don't think we updated it. Oh, we did. CRM, BA, Enphase, Cost. All right, CRM, Boeing, Enphase, and Costco. What's the first day of this week? Hold on. I'm going to have to... This thing's all messed up. This is a good time for me just to wait for some likes to step in. Before we go to the ticker form. All right. CRM, BA, Enphase, Costco, oil futures, and LEN. Yeah, Coinbase sort of moving here. All right, let's go. Speed round. CRM. Yeah, I would say the gap is pretty much filled. I'd give up on the gap fill play. I think it's over. It may not get all the way down. I would say watch out for the supply at this previous high right here. Watch out for this 179 level right here. If it gets over 179, you might try again. All right, watch 179. Watch this previous high right here on CRM, 179. Boeing. Yeah, Boeing keeps holding this demand, man. Look at this demand, man. Look at this double bottom, 197. Nice double bottom there on Boeing. I know they've been getting some positive news out there on Boeing. So I would say just watch out for. Yeah, it's a channel trade. I mean, at this point, again, right? This is your 50%. You're right at your 50%. So I couldn't give you an idea on Boeing, really. I mean, it's a nice channel low demand bounce. If you're in at these lows, congrats. If you're trying to catch continuation, you might get it. Maybe just watch the Dow. But yeah, that's a nice little channel low demand on Boeing. Just know that you're right in the channel, right in the middle. End phase, sort of dead. Need to get over, I think you need to see support really step up over 220 for upside. You really need a 220 to start to build. Costco. Nice little hold here at that 470 demand on Costco, right? If you want to trade Costco upside, this would be your chance, right? This is what we're talking about, channels. I know it's not as comfortable to go long Costco here, but maybe this is a channel low hold, right? You can see, look at how many times Costco has hit this 470, support there, support there, support there. What happens this time? If you want to get good risk reward, the idea would be 470 demand hold for upside. Not sure that's going to happen. You'd probably want to see how the market looks today, but that is a demand. That's a channel low demand hold right now on cost at 470. See what happens at that level. Oil futures sort of breaking down. Yeah, I think you just watch this whole demand down here. If the oil futures, it looks like 73 is a pretty big level. 73. I mean, it's just a channel low. See what happens on that 73. Lennar, home builder. They have earnings. You almost got away with it. Next. All right. Wedge on the weekly or yearly on cost, Chef. Let me see. Yeah, you got a little bit of yeah, I see it. Yeah, Costco may be waiting to make a big move right there. Nice weekly. That's going to move eventually. I see it. Watch that 470 demand, Chef. All right, quick update on the futures. Let's get a quick update here. It's done nothing. All right, we're sitting right in supply. NASDAQ sitting right in supply, right at yesterday's highs. Watch out for that. And the ES, again, sitting right in supply, yesterday's highs. Watch this. 39.40, 39.30. Yesterday's highs, supply. We're sitting right in them on both the NASDAQ and ES. Big stuff right there. All right, that's all I got. Hope you guys have a fantastic day. Press the like button if you could. Thank you for the 1,000 likes. Focus on the levels. It's going to be all about the levels again today. It's already showed you that it's not a big CPI day right now. The move is not very strong. It's just sort of grinding higher. Watch the levels. If the supply breaks, look for it to turn into demand. If the supply turns into demand, you can set up a good risk reward. Keep an eye on those levels. It's the same as every other day. All right? Thank you guys again. Press the like button, subscribe to the channel, and I will see you guys tomorrow. Peace out.